Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Louise Golden from Clarity Crafts here in the UK. Welcome to another 2 p.m. show. We have them occasionally on a Tuesday, and it's usually Groovi based. So yesterday we had the lovely Barbara at 2 p.m. doing like a mini make one of the lovely Tina's Floral Sampler, which was really, really nice. And today, we've got the same, but in Groovi. So I'm just setting up my phone. There we go. There we go. So hopefully, I'll just wait for a little while for our friends to come into the room. So on the screen, this is the new set we've put together. So which is the Tina's Floral Samplers A4 Groovi Plate Duo with 8x8 Rainbow River designer parchment. And this really works well together with these lovely plates because they kind of create colour without having to do any colouring. So that's the good thing about the designer parchment, which is really, really nice. So lovely. We've got some friends coming into the room. So as normal, we have two ways of ordering. So we have www.claritycrafts.com. And that's, you can, purchase anything online, have a little browse and everything. There's so much on there to peruse. And then we also have our phone line. So if you want to speak to a human, that is 01732 868215. So those are the two ways to order. So as normal, we have our lovely main bundle, which is over here. And then we have them singly, but the best way of ordering would be to buy the whole bundle together because you're saving £24.98, which is quite a big saving. So you're getting the parchment for free. So that's £49.97. So if you were a Diamond Club member, for example, so the whole bundle together, so with your 15% off, that would be £42.47, which is a really big saving considering that it would originally be £74.95. So that's a really nice, a nice big saving. So sound is great. Thank you, Jilly. So Jilly will be in the room with you. So if you have any questions or if I forget to mention anything, Jilly will be there to save me. So all of the shows, all of the products on the show will be on the website under the Clarity Crafts blue button, which is just, if you go online, it's the little blue button. It's on the right at the top. So that will be available for anything that you, if you want to buy anything, it will be all on that show page. And I'll mention a few things as we're going around. So what I thought to start off with, we'll have a look at the plates all outlined on parchment, so as you see it. And then after that, we'll have a look at some of the inspiration from our lovely design team, which I think is really nice to see. So on the screen is the bundle. However, if you wanted to buy them singularly, you can. The biggest saving is actually buying the whole bundle in itself. But I will just show you, I'm coming up the chat. I'll just show you if you just wanted to buy the one, so the Happy Today A4 Groovi plate, that is the price singularly, so that's 42542. And then you've got the Tina's Thanks Floral Sampler, which is 42543. And so you've got they're £24.99 on their own. But yeah, so if I bring it back to here, if you buy those all together with the parchment, you're getting the parchment for free, which is really, really nice. And there's lots and lots of really lovely colours in the Rainbow River parchment. I'll show you that in a little while because they are really, really nice. I love because there's a lot of blues, purples and pinks, which is why Rainbow River is one of my favourites as well. So if I show you on the overhead, so we have this one first. So this is the Happy Today for You. So these, as you'll notice, if you watched the show yesterday with Barbara, the squares are actually quite a lot larger. If I bring in the lovely stamp set, they're quite a lot larger, which is really nice, I think. You've got 2 different sizes, and there's nothing stopping you from stamping with archival black ink onto parchment. And even if you wanted to use this as a pattern, if you like the smaller size, if you wanted to use this as a pattern, you could buy this one, and then you can stamp onto like paper or parchment. And say you wanted to use the colouring, so you didn't want the black line art, but you wanted to colour, you would just place your parchment over the top, and then you would colour over it like a traditional pattern. So that way you could get 2 sizes in one, which is really, really nice. So if you wanted the stamp set, Barbara was showing this yesterday, and this comes with a little, you get the duo, so you get the little mini stamp set, the A7 one. So that comes together, which is 12192. So that, I believe, is, let me just have a look. Yes, 12192, and that is 29.98. So that's so you're buying this for free, really. So you're buying this, but you get that for free, which is really, really nice. So that's always worth thinking in mind when you're working with parchment, but they're really lovely sizes. And just because you have these in a square doesn't mean you have to use them in a square. You know, the good thing about Groovi is that you can take away what you don't want. So you can use this element and maybe just use this flower and make a little wreath or something with the flowers and a few leaves. That would look really beautiful. You know, we've got just this element here. All of the sentiments, there's just so much on here that you can pick and choose. If you just wanted the one flower in with a little sentiment, you can. So that's the really lovely thing about these plates, is that you can, and Groovi, is that you can pick and choose. You know, did you just want the vase with the 2 roses, you know, or 3 rows of roses in a lovely vase. So yeah, so that's really the main bundle. And then you get the parchment, which I'll just bring in here. So you get that more or less free with these 2 plates. And there's some really, really lovely colours in here. If I just show, I mean, and what you'll notice with our designer parchment, if you haven't seen it before, it's glossy on one side and then matte on the other. So depending on what you wanted, if you wanted it with white line art, you would emboss into the glossy side. And if you wanted a muted like colour, you would emboss onto the matte side. So, and the good thing is, if you have a white eraser pencil, you can take away the colour on our printed parchment, which is really, really nice. But the good thing about the rainbow parchment is it's got so many different colour ways in it. You know, you've got pink and grey, you've got reds, greens and yellows, purples, pinks, greens and blues. I love that as well. That's really lovely. But there's so many beautiful colourways in that one, in all of our designer parchment. So if you were thinking of designer parchment, it's really a good idea to have a look at all of the designer parchment that's on our website. I mean, if you wanted to buy it singly, it's 30540, and there's many other designer parchments as well. They are really, really lovely. And I'm going to be using a little bit of the designer parchment today, just to show you what you can do with it. So that's always worth having a look at. So let's have a look at some of the lovely design teams, beautiful artwork. So I've got a nice big pile here. So lovely thing is we can just have a little inspiration for a little while. So this one here is done by the lovely Hazel Edwards. So this is really, really lovely because you've just got the line art and a little bit of tool work around the outside, along with our lovely companion papers that we have. And I just think that's really, really nice. It's simple, but it's really beautiful. You know, you don't have to do any perforating if you're not at that point in your bust journey. You know, you don't have to. So another lovely sample coming in is from Josie Davidson. So I love these colours, aren't they beautiful? So we've got a little bit of glitter, got a little bit I think close up, it looks like some nice stitching in the corners as well. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can. Oh, how close can we get? Let's try again. There we go. Just a little bit of stitching in the corners, which is really nice. Which is if you like, you know, if you like sewing and everything, you can stitch in your cards. If you don't want to use brads or anything, you can stitch in your cards, which is really, really nice. Traditionally, it used to happen a lot. You used to stitch in the spine and have it like that. But that's using our basic grid as well, which is really beautiful. So yeah, so that's from the lovely Josie Davidson. I'll come out a little bit now. There we go. It's just nice to see those little intricate details that you might not see when you're a bit further away. And this one is from the lovely Carol Pankstello. Yeah, I love this. It's so pretty. You've got some lovely glitter around the outside. Carol loves her glitter. But, you know, it's not... The lovely thing about these plates is you can pick and choose. You know, this isn't like you've got the little square here, but you can also then extend, and this is using one of the frames in the middle. So you've got the nested scallop extension and the nested squares extension, which comes with this lovely frame, which is always nice. If you're always thinking about composition, starting with a Jane's frame, as I used to call it, is just a really nice way of starting off a composition, because you can put something in the middle like that and you can fill up the border with whatever you want it to. So there's a lovely glittery sample. And then we have Karen Jackson's one here. So this is using some lovely grid work around the outside, really beautiful. And the nice thing here is you've got the little bit of white work around the rim of the vase. You've got a little water, but it's so pretty, just a little bit of white work, and there's just a tiny little bit of white work here, so it makes it look glazed. But I love that. And little butterflies here and there, really lovely. And that's all on the plate as well. And then we've got a lovely one from Glynis Whitehead. So that's using that lovely flower there. There's nothing stopping you from using just that one flower and a few leaves and creating a wreath or creating like a floral corner design. Really lovely. Just put a bit of grid work around the outside. Gorgeous. And then this one's from Carol Pankstello. So this is really lovely, kids. Until you twinkle it, you get to see all that beautiful glitter then. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Carol loves her glitter. I think I need to use glitter a bit more on my samples. So this is really beautiful. Which is this? Jill Askins. So again, stitched in on the edges. And we also got some lovely colours in this. So this is just using one of Linda's easy layout plates. So you can create just a little bit. So just because they're square, you can just infill just the tiniest little bit. So where's there it is. So say you've got your lovely, you know, we have a PTC and ATC swap every month. So just because, you know, you've got this little bit here, it doesn't mean it has to be a square. You can infill in your 2.5 by 3.5 little PTC sizes, which is really, really lovely. So all of these elements are just perfect for that. But it's a lovely little bit of colour and glitter. Really beautiful. And then so our next sample is from Karen Jackson. This is really nice, having a look at all these. And that's the lovely thing about Clarity TV, is that you can take that time and look and spend that time with the design team samples and just have a proper look into them. And if you wanted to take little screenshots, you can. But this is really lovely. Just using 3 squares and then one design in the middle, just a few little butterflies and some grid design. So it shows you don't have to use them in square cards. You can use them in like I can't remember what they call the long size. My brain's not working today. But I I used to make a lot of these kind of cards when I was first starting out with that was over 15 years ago now, starting out with my card making and everything. So next we've got a lovely big amount of glitter on this, and this is on the background, which is really beautiful. So you've got using a die, a doodle die. I think it's a scallop doodle die, circle one, and using the thanks, which is on this plate here, really lovely. And then using this background here, which is on the same plate, as using them in the whole background, so which is really lovely, because then you can, just because you have it in a square doesn't mean you can infill your whole background, you know, which then really does open up. So you wanted to create these lovely bits all the way down your card, you can, because, you know, with Groovi you can. Thank you, Jilly, it was a DL card, that's the one. Thank you. Jilly's there in case my brain malfunctions. So yeah, and that's really lovely. I love that. See, the thing is, you can get so carried away. I need to find different words to say about all of these gorgeous cards. My most favourites is gorgeous, beautiful, and lovely. I need to come up with some different adjectives. Okay, so this is Jill Ascombe's again. We've got the lovely pearlescent paint there with the arch basic grid, which is really, really pretty. So that's really lovely. On our designer paper again as well, which is lovely. Then whose is this? This is Josie Davidson's. So a lovely little bit of embossed grid just to fill up that lovely space. So just because you may not be at the journey of picot cutting or anything yet, you can picot cut this out with a die if you wanted to. And then Josie has these lovely embossed sampler plates. There's about 9 on each plate, I believe. And then there's 3, I think they're A4 square plates. There's 3 diagonal and 3 straight. But this is to infill all of them. And they look so lovely. You just have to keep moving it along. But it's just really, really nice to infill, just really delicate. This is really lovely with the glitter on the, where's that one from? That one's from there. So there, it's really, really nice. Who have we got now? We've got Karen Jackson again. So I love the colours on this. And I love Karen Jackson's actually picot cut all of this out. It's all been, oh, and it turns. So gorgeous. And then just use the brad just to attach it. But isn't that gorgeous? Love that. All picot cut out. Tiny little bit of colour. Beautiful. And we've got Carol Baker's, is this one. So just a little bit of colour. So which is a really lovely thing about this card is that if you are a beginner, you can create this card. There's a little bit of colouring, which you can use with our Pergocolour pens. And then you can use your guillotine paper trimmer or craft knife and craft mat and cut it out, or use your picot squares and use the designer paper, and then that's a really beautiful card. And that's beautiful in itself, you know, without any grid work or picot cutting, just so beautiful with a little bit of glitter. So beautiful. I love it. This one is from the lovely Jane Telford. I love the use of a nice sticker from our many sticker sheets that we have here. We've got quite a few now, but it's a really nice, you know, join with our nice journaling sort of background as well. But lovely little bit of embossed grid work along here. And the lovely thing about this is it's in the card, so you're not cutting it out around the outside, but just a tiny little bit, you know, of picot cutting in some of it, but not all of it, which is really, really pretty and effective. Using 2 of them, just matching it over. And I think that's really pretty. I love the colours used in that as well. I like the scallop plate as well. Really nice. And we've got one from Carol Baker. So I love this grid design around the outside. It looks really beautiful. And it's really nice because it's like a light blue, a little bit of glitter, little highlights of colour, and then using our nice doodle dies again. So effective. This is nice having a look at all these cards. And this is from Carol Pankstello, and she's used a gold pen to trace over the lines. And isn't that lovely? You can see the metallic gold pen there. Just, it's very autumnal, isn't it? You've got the nice greens with the oranges, browns and yellows, with a bit of gold on the craft card. That's nice if you've got a nice birthday in October, November time. Really nice. Okay, what have we got? This one is from Jane Telford. It's lovely, using the nested octagon. And I love this design around the outside, just using a few flowers from the plate and just creating almost like a little bit of pattern building, which is really, really lovely. And then using the gold pen with the angle tool. Sorry, my brain forgot what tool it was. It's the most obvious tool, really, but yeah, it's an angle tool. Of course it is. And this is also very beautiful. This is Carol Baker's. So using those lovely circular grids that we have quite a few of these. This is the straight one, but isn't that beautiful? And then all you've got to do is just attach this is the octagon inside, and using a micron pen, so it looks, or you can, a little bit of shading in there as well behind. I think the black pen on parchment looks really beautiful. Or even if you were going, like we were saying earlier, if you were going to stamp on it, on your parchment with the archival ink pad, that looks really, really lovely. The black line art, and then a bit of embossing or colour behind. Really lovely. And then we've got Carol Baker again. That's really lovely green, isn't it? It's really pretty. And then just used the line art for the stems, but then she's come in with a perga colour and then coloured the outline with the green, so it looks very, very delicate. And then we've got some of the brads, and then also this has been attached onto a card, and then Carol's used another bit of parchment, the green parchment, and put it behind the card with a little bit of grid art, grid work, which is really pretty. I like that. And oh, here's another one. I've got another one. This is from the lovely Glynis. So this is like, it was lovely tied in a bow, but somebody's already had a look. And this is one of the samples on the front, which is really, really lovely. And then you've got the 5 in a circle tool just dotted here and there. But this is really lovely because it opens up like a book, and then it opens up with the lovely purples and greens and pinks. Then it opens up again, so you can see even more. Really beautiful. I love that. And the 5 in a circle here and there looks really pretty. I thought that was really, really lovely when I saw that. It's a nice little keepsake to give to somebody. And you can, you know, it's something that everybody would want to keep, isn't it? There we go, so that's that one. And then last one here I have is Jane Telford's. Now this is lovely. This is coloured with polychromos, I expect. Yeah, polychromos on the front, so which is really lovely. It gives her like a painted effect, really effective. I love how the leaves have been coloured as well. Really pretty. And then that's using the semicircle and then the semicircle mini as well. And then the embedder around the outside. So gorgeous. So those are the beautiful cards from the design team. So it's been really, really lovely just to spend some time just having a proper look through all of the lovely cards. And there are so many beautiful samples. It's always good to have a proper look through them. So what else have we got? What else can I show you? So yes, so we have the lovely parchment ones, but we also have, I showed you earlier, we've got the stamps. So I thought I'd just show you just a few little samples just of those, because I know Barbara showed them yesterday, but I thought it's good, just in case you didn't see the show yesterday, it's good to just to have another look. And also it's nice to see, you know, all of these, there are, like I was saying earlier, they are quite a bit smaller than the parchment, which is really nice, because you can then, say for example, I've got some parchment. Let me just grab some parchment out and I'll show you what I mean. So you would say, for example, you just stamped onto your, just a plain bit of paper. So then you can go over with your parchment, say you wanted this flower here, you would stick it down and you would just colour over it, so that when you took it off, you have this lovely coloured image with no black lines or white lines or anything. So that's a really lovely thing about having something in two sizes. You can do that with your parchment, and you can get a micron pen and do it that way. But you can also, that means you've got two sizes then, which is really, really nice. So I just thought I'd just show you just a few samples, and then we can have a look at a nice demo. Have some time. So this is really lovely. So just a little bit there, but then inked with some distress oxides in the background and everything. That looks really, really lovely. Just in the background, and the colours together are really beautiful as well. This is Dee Paramore's one. This is Dee Paramore's piece of art, and I really love that. I think that's so simple, because you've got one element there, but you've also got the background with the other stamps as well. And then we've got a nice one from Tina Morris. This is very beautiful. Let me move that over there. It's lovely. So using our nested tags, so you've got two different sizes there. Just using some of the stamps in the background. But I love this. This is so beautiful. Really lovely element. And then this one. So it shows you that you can use in conjunction with your other stamps. So this is obviously, this is Tina Cox's original one. I can't remember what the original one was. Brighten Your Day Flowers stamp set. And yeah, so that was that one. But then using the lovely squares at the bottom. And whose was that? That was Jane Telford's. Very, very pretty. And then I've got another one from Linda Spencer. This is lovely, because you've got the different sizes here. So you've got that size that came in the original one, and then you've got the actual smaller size of the stamps that were in the sampler set, which is really, really lovely. And then again, this is from Debbie McMullen, just using the squares across. I love that sentiment. It's really nice. And then just with our doodle dies, very pretty. And then this is using our nested tag. This is Sarah Brennan's. So just the square there with I think this is the dome tag set. This is really nice with a little bit of ribbon. These are nice for the tags are really nice for presents, but also I like journaling on a tag. They're really nice. Little elements at the bottom there too. And then lastly, I thought I'd just show you one more. And then this one. So you've got the squares here, and then you've got the other stamp in the background as a nice background. So they really are good in conjunction with the stamp sets that we had before, the larger versions of these, the Kiss stamps. So yeah, so that's, can we go back on here? Those were those cards, and it's really lovely just to see a few of the lovely inspiration cards. So that's really lovely to see. So yeah, so what I'll do now is I will just show you the floral samplers again, and then we can get into a nice demo. So we have on the screen is the Tina's Floral Samplers A4 Groovi Plate Duo with the 8x8 Rainbow River designer parchment. So you'll save it, you are getting the parchment for free. So it's a nice way of, if you wanted both plates, you might as well go for this bundle because you get the parchment for free. Otherwise, the two plates separately are the same price, more or less. So you might as well just get the bundle and then get your parchment for free. And then you can have a go at all of the lovely line art on this beautiful designer parchment. One thing I will actually mention is if you're going to use designer parchment, then you're best, if you have got one, that's great. It's a light wave. They are actually, let me just show you. So it comes in a big box. And at the moment, there's a light wave cover bundle, and you are actually getting the cover for free. So you're paying for the light wave really, but you get the actual cover for free. But it comes in this great big box, so it's nice and safe. It comes in like, it's got packaging all around it. You've got your plug and your wire. So that is 30566, and that's $49.96. So normally the light wave is $49.99. So for $49.96, you're actually getting the cover for free. So if you haven't got light wave, it's probably best to get one, because I will show you when I do my demo. It's kind of hard, especially if you've got eyesight like me, but it is very hard to see through the designer parchment because of the gorgeous colours in it, but it's very mottled, so you get some darker colours and some lighter colours. So it's always worth getting a light wave. It makes life so much easier. I'm going to be using it without the light wave only because it messes up with the cameras. But yeah, so let's just tackle a demo, I think, for a little while. So as always, with the demos, it comes with a little demo sheet, which I will show you now. So it has the date of the show and the time, and then it has the card, and then it has all of the ingredients down here. So it's always good to just print these off if you can, and then have them as inspiration in a little folder. And as with anything, club discounts apply on top of all of the prices that I'm mentioning at the moment. So yes, so let's show you the card that I'm going to be doing up close. There we go. So just a little demo just to get ourselves in the mood. So I will show you just this bit of parchment here, for example, just before we get started. So as I was saying, there's a glossy side, like a more vibrant side, and then there's the matte side, which is a bit more muted. So when you are creating your line art, to get this white line art, you would want to use that side down. So the vibrant glossy side up, and then when you create your line art into it, it will come up white on the matte side. So another nice thing to know is, as we get into the demo, I'll show you can take colour out and then put whatever colour you want back in. So if I just go through, so there are some really lovely colours. This is my bundle here. So I actually went with colours that I wouldn't normally go with today. So I've used the red and the greens and everything. I'd go for this one. It's got some pink and purples in it. Or I would have gone for, there's another nice, there's just so many in here. So many nice, oh yeah, that would probably be the one I would have normally gone for. But I'm out of my comfort zone and I'm going with another beautiful one. So that's what we're tackling today. So what I will show, oh, I'm going to put that one away too. Don't want that one. There we go. So I'm going to bring in my plate. So we are going to be using in this demo the Happy Today for You one. Yes, we are. I just had to think then. So I have my parchment here. So let me come out a little bit so you can see. So I'm going to be using this one here. So we've used this really, it's really nice. It's got those lovely flowers and the butterfly. So we're going to be using that one. So as you can see, it's, especially when you go into this, into the darker tones, you have to really look close and see if you can, especially here, for example, the camera is picking up a little bit better than my naked eye can see, but that's because I've got bad eyesight. But you can see through it. However, if you have a light wave behind it, it's even better. So, I mean, the paper doesn't work, but with the light underneath, it shines up and you can see so much easier. So when I was using coloured parchment before, I was doing grid work on coloured parchment, I wouldn't be able to do it without my light wave, because of, you know, say you had a purple and you were trying to do your grid work, you can't really see unless you use a light wave. So let me just use, I'm going to use a light part of the image, and we'll do a little, I'll use my Groovi tabs to stick it down. I'm going to be using Perga colours as well. Once I take the colour out, I'm going to be using the Perga colours to put back in. So Perga colours are very, very useful. Also, another point is when we come to the white work, if you wanted to, just using tumble dry sheet, just putting it over the, just to lubricate the parchment. If you wanted to use, if you wanted to create white work on coloured parchment like this, another good way of creating that, if you cut, because sometimes let me bring in one I've already done. So say you've got this one, when you come up with it, you might not, in the darker places, you might not exactly see where you want to put your white work. So you can actually use the embossing mat Excellent over your light wave, because it's like a silicone mat. You can put that over the light wave, and that way you'd be able to see exactly where your white work is, or where you want your white work, because it's, even though it's not see-through, the light still shines through it, where obviously there's no light, can't shine through your black mat. So it is very useful to have the silicone pink mat if you can. So I'm just going to do some initial line art just to show you. So you can kind of see it when it's indented. I mean, it's not impossible, but it makes life so much easier. There we go. So let me just do one flower. It makes life so much easier, you know, if you have bad eyesight, or, you know, it's just, I mean, light wave can be used for so many different things. So it's always handy. Always good to have a light wave. So I'm just using the number 2 tool here, and this is from the starter kit. So because I'm going to create some white work in these little, let me come in a little bit closer so you can see. I'm going to create some white work in here. So I'm going to leave these with the number 2, but then I'm just going to go over with my number 1 and just with the line art, go over with my number 1. And that will really crisp up the line art. There we go. So that's all I'll do for the line art, because we want to see how to take colour out, really. That's the most useful part of this demo, really. But we'll just show you. So this is the glossy side. So you turn it over and you have the white line art at the front. So obviously there's no lines here because that's where the flowers overlap the line. However, if you wanted to have that box, you could just take this flower and the stem out, and this flower and this stem out, and just have these 3 flowers here if you wanted to, or move this over into here a bit more, and then you've got your actual box you could use. So yeah, so that's the line art. So once the line art's done, you then have this. So let me just dispose of the Groovi sticker tabs. They get everywhere. There we go. So we have our, I've just cut it down because we only need a little bit of parchment here. So as you can see, the line art is a lot whiter than the little circles are. So I'm just going to do a little bit of white work first, in just a few of the little circles, and then I'm going to take the colour out. And you would take the colour out using the white eraser. It's the Faber-Castell. Oh, hang on a minute, we weren't in. So it's the white one. I find that's the one I tend to use. I mean, the pink eraser is very useful too, but I really want to just take all of this colour out. So this is the white one. So I think when I first started out, I used to go in with the number 2 first, because I used to do white work in a lot of my samples. So I used to always go in with my number 2. So everything, for example, these little white balls, I would have kept with the number 2. Then I would have gone in with my number 1 and created all of the crisp line art that I wanted to be pure white. So that's always the way I go about it. A lot of people just go in with the number 1, but it's just the way that I do it. It's no way right or wrong. It's just the way that you prefer it. And a lot of people don't want to go in with the number 2 and then the number 1. You know, it takes a lot more time. But I just found it worked better for me when I first started learning, and I've never really got out of the habit, because my eyesight used to be very, very bad 10 years ago. So I used to find that going in with the number 2, because it's got like a little ball on it, it was easier to find the grooves with the number 2 than going straight in with the number 1. And that's just how I got into the habit. I don't always do that. Sometimes I will just go in with my number 1. But most of the time I go in with my number 2 first. No way is right or wrong. It's just the way that we all prefer doing things. So I'm just going in with this is my number 2, because the little round balls are so small. You only need to really just go in with the number 2. So, and what you'll find is, because obviously you've got colour behind, so unless if you forget where you've gone, sometimes you can't always see exactly where you've done your white work, which is exactly why the pink mat is very, very useful. I use a pink mat on my Lightwave quite a lot. So yeah, it's just large enough. The number 2 ball tool is just large enough for this little bit. So I'll just do these ones here, and then we'll go into the eraser. I think it's nice sometimes to work with designer parchment, because I don't work with it enough, especially on, you know, our shows and everything. Mainly because of the Lightwave. It's just easier using a Lightwave with designer parchment. But I created this demo without the Lightwave, but it was a lot harder. But it's not impossible. The Lightwave is just, it really does help. So I'm going back onto my hard side of my mat, and I'm going to go in with my white eraser. So I've sharpened it a little bit so I can get that fine point. And what you'll want to do is, you start rubbing, you can start to see it just disappearing, just like magic. There we go. So as you can see, it's taken a lot of colour out. I mean, I can go in a little bit more, but having an eraser pencil is a really, really useful tool to have when using coloured parchment, because it just means that you can add different colours in and it just looks really effective. I mean, the reason that coloured parchment is so popular sometimes is because if you're not too into your colouring, then you can use this to create colour, you know, and then it's already done for you. So I'm just sharpening the eraser again because I just want to go right up into the edge. There we go. So, and then that means that you can put any colour in that you wanted to then. Just makes life so much easier. So, I mean, this is like a teal and a red and like a dark blue colours. But, you know, teals and pinks go really close together. So I'm going to use a pink in them in a second. But yes, so I would really recommend, if you're getting your Lightwave, is to also get the Embossing Matte Excellent, which is 70075, which means that you just place this over your Lightwave and you can't see all the way through it, but you can see where your white work is. It just makes life so much simpler. So once all your colour has been taken out, you're then left with this, which means then you can have the exciting part of putting the colour back in now, which is always very useful. So I thought I'm going to use a few pinks. I've got a couple of pinks and a couple of yellows, and this is using our Perga colours, which I'll bring the details up here. So that is the Perga Colours exclusive, 70060, $29.99. So with your 15% discount, it would bring it down to $25.49. That's if you're a Diamond Club member. So it's you get 30 pens in there as well, so there's lots and lots of colours. I have mine. I've put mine in a little pencil case here. Just makes life easier to get them out for me. However, it comes in a nice little tin, which is really, really nice. So let me come back in with some colour now. So the good thing is you can bring colour in from the back, and you can put it on the front as well if you wanted to. So let me I'm going to come in with my pink at the bottom. I'm just flicking it out, just there, and then I'm bringing my lighter bit. So that was number 6, and this one is number 8, and I want the thicker nib. I'm just bringing in the pink from the top and then working down, so merging the two colours together. So then you have the pink there, and not just pink, you can use yellow. So I've got like an orangey colour and a yellow colour. So this is number 2 and number 1. So I've got a darker orange in here actually. Let's use the darker orange as well. Where's that? Come in. There we go. So let's use an orange at the bottom. So I'll just use it on this one. So got a little bit of orange at the bottom, and then I'll come in with my number 1, and then just come in from the top, my yellow, and then slowly just merge the colours in the middle. There we go. So when you come over, you've got the yellow that comes through. And then if you wanted to just build up that colour, I'll come in with my number 2, And if you're careful with the line art, there we go. Just wait for that to, there you go. If you're careful with the line art, you can add a little bit of depth in colour on the front using the thinner nib. So it really just intensifies the colour then, you see? Then you can go in and right at the base of the flower with your orangey colour, just intensify that further. I'm just checking to see if my head was in the way. It's not, we're okay. There you go, so just a little bit of a depth in colour. So you can work on the back, on the front, on the designer parchment, which is really good. Very useful. So I'm going to come in with the darker pink here, which is number 6. Just going to intensify the pink. I'm just using my finger just to smudge it out a little bit. And just at the base, kind of really intensifies the whole colour of the flower then. You see, it just intensifies a little bit. And then we can use the pink, the lighter pink, just to bring out from the darker pink. There we go. It just intensifies the colour even more. So the good thing is you can use the colour on the back and on the front. And then with the white work of the little circular details on there, it just looks really, really pretty. The white work with the colour looks really nice on the designer parchment. So that's that bit. And then what I thought I would show you. So once it's all coloured out, oh, hello, there we go. Once it's all coloured, we've got something like this. This would look really, really lovely with glitter. I don't have any in here. I've just literally just thought about it. I was thinking, ooh, glitter would look really nice. But let's just concentrate on the tool work, I think, for now. But I expect most of you at home have Perga glitter mapping pens and all of that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is, it was just a little bit, if I go back to the card, it's just a little bit of, I've used the semicircle tool. Yeah, the semicircle tool. And now the semicircle, which I'm using, is 70017, and it's £9.99. So, and obviously you get your club discount off as well, if you're a club member. So I'm just going to go in with my semicircle tool. And I've just worked around the flowers. And now this bit's okay because we're going straight down. So where's my Groovi guard? So just going in with my semicircle. I'm just using my Pico foam. So it's just a very, very thin mat, just to perforate a little bit. And then I can go do my embossing and then work from there. I thought I'd just go straight down because I know we're on a little bit of we're near the end of the show. I don't know where that time's gone. There we go. So I've gone all the way down with my semicircle tool. Oh, let me bring that down a bit so you can see. There we go. So just a nice, easy little bit of embossing. So I'm taking the Pico foam away, turning my black mat over onto the soft side. And then just going to turn my parchment over. So we're on the back again. Oh, hello. Come on. There we go. So I'm just going to go in with my number 2 tool from the starter kit. And all I'm doing here is, I mean, there's so many different ways in which you can emboss in your tool work. But I thought I'll just create a line all the way around, like a semi-line there. And if you wanted to, like so, if you wanted to, you could infill that in with white work, or you can, I don't know, do a little dot. So many different ways in which you can emboss inside. So, and then you can come in with your gel pens or pogo glitter, anything you wanted to. I'll just do one line for you to see. There we go. There we are. So that's one line down there. I'll do a few with dots. So then we can see I'm going to use my pink metallic gel pen. And I'm just going to go over. Oh, can we see? Sorry. I'm just going to go over with my, so it almost looks like a little painted dot, like a dip dot, but without doing a dip dot. It's decided to, there you go. And then, I mean, that means you can use any of the gel pens. I mean, I think there's 7. You've got the pink, the green, the blue, the gold, the bronze, the silver, and the purple. I think it's purple. And then what I just did after that is I did a drop shadow with the pink, and then I just outlined the side of the stem with the green. So I did almost like a drop shadow, but just with the metallic gel pen. Just worked my way down like that, and then it just gave an extra little bit of a highlight on the stem. I mean, then you can doodle. You can do little. I mean, I'm getting carried away now. You can do a nice little bit of a doodle with your metallic gel pens. A leaf. There we go. So then, and then when you've done all of that, and you've Pico cut it out, it looks like that. So this is using the same colour. This is the rainbow parchment. And then you have the Rainbow River matching card. Oh, let me come out a little bit to show you, which is 30556. So this is the Rainbow River card, and it's the matching with the parchment here. Stay. There we go. So that's the matching. So if you wanted to have the matching card with the paper, that's the designer card. So that's 30556. And then that's not the right one. Where's the one with the, there it is. There it is. And then that's the designer parchment. So that's 30540. Oh, can't see that. There you go. That was my one. That's why it doesn't have a thingy on it. And then you do have the matching companion paper. So we do that quite a lot with all of our, there's Rainbow River, Indian Summer, Toscana, Waimea Falls, Northern Lights. We have all of the matching cards with the parchment, and then we have the companion paper. So all of these colours, you know, say we've got the paper, you would be able to go through and find the matching companion paper. So you say you wanted the teal to go with that, or you wanted the red, which you've got that red there. I mean, there's another red here somewhere. You've got that colour, and then that's a bit of a brighter red, so it's probably that one or the other one. So they all match in with each other. So If you like the parchment and you wanted to get the matching companion paper, this is 31665, and they all work in conjunction with each other. So to create the card that's now disappeared, there it is. You've got the parchment. Oh, hello, 1 minute. You've got the parchment, which is on the front. Then you've got the Rainbow River designer card, which is this bit here. And then you've got the companion paper, which is the bit behind. So all together, they all kind of match. And then you know that you're going to get a nice complementary tone all the way through your cards. So that's if you sometimes struggle with colour and you're thinking, oh, what card goes with that, and what colour card should I use with this designer paper? It makes life so much easier when you have it all together in one set. So let me go back to this is the one we were concentrating on today, which is the Tina's Floral Samplers A4 Groovi Plate Duo with 8x8 Rainbow River designer parchment. And that is $49.97. And the code is 21241. So if you were going online, which is claritycrafts.com, you just type those numbers into the search bar, or give them to the lovely Jazz or Pete, which is 01732 868215, and they would be able to find it if you give them the code 21241. So yeah, I think we've come to a close on that hour. I can't believe how quickly it went. But I hope everybody enjoyed having a look at the lovely inspiration from the design team. They really outdo themselves every single time. I mean, I always say that because then you look at some new plates that come out and then all the design team samples come through and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. They always outdo themselves. Thank you to the lovely Jilly. She was in the chat and she's been feeding me texts and things. So thank you very much, Jilly, for doing that for me. It was a lovely groovy day today. We've had Groovy Tuesday this morning, which we did our first groovy part of the project, the line art. And then a nice 2 p.m. show, which we were showcasing the parchment side of the lovely stamps that Barbara showed yesterday at 2 p.m. If you wanted to see some amazing demos, then definitely check out yesterday's 2 p.m. show, which is the matching show with this. Barbara does a really lovely demo on there. So definitely worth having a look at the 2 p.m. show yesterday, which was the 29th of September. So yes, it was lovely to see you all. I hope I will see you on Groovy Tuesday. Barbara and Paul will be back with you on Friday, I believe 10 and 2, for something very new and exciting. And then I will be with Paul on Sunday with something else very exciting. So if you like perforating and things like that, that's something very exciting too, which will be coming up on Sunday. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.